everybody. Jeremy Ritz here.
Edmund Fontana.
And we are coming at you live, episode number 36 of Courage Pays Better Than Fear. And in today's episode, as we get closer to the holiday season, it's next week.
We are, what, 7 days away?
I don't know. You're counting 7 days.
7 days away.
But what we're going to try to help you do in this episode is make it so that you don't lose your shit in the panic of getting everything ready for Christmas, for your kids, for your family. As fathers ourselves, business owners, we're going to try to break it down and give you some actionable tips here today.
Tip number one, don't take it out on your spouse.
And more tips to come in this episode. Let's go. All right, guys, so episode 36. And before we jump into it, how you been, man? What have you been up to?
Getting back after it, working out, feeling good. It's been solid 2 weeks now. Been doing physical therapy for a month. Been back out at the gym with you for 2 weeks, and hitting the cold plunges.
That you have.
Yes.
And we have a video.
We have a special guest that did her first cold plunge yesterday. Yeah,
and that might be up. It might not be. Make sure you check back to the channel, but that will be posted. Make sure you check that out. And the beach house went through, right?
Yes. So closed on that beach. Closed January 31st. Up all night last night. Freaking my mind races. And from 1 o'clock to 5 in the morning, I'm up. I'm running numbers. I'm on my whiteboard. I'm mapping out, like looking at pictures, like where this is going to go, where that's going to go. I'm just putting it out there that this one's going to close and this one's going to go through, and there are not going to be any issues. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to be a beautiful home, closer location, access to a private marina to where I don't even need to own a boat. I can become a member and, you know, pay a monthly fee, the same freaking monthly fee that my boat would have been if I would have bought it, and have access to multiple boats whenever I want throughout the year. No maintenance, none of that nonsense, all about convenience.
That's sweet. And you close at the end of the month. That's my correct?
January 31st.
January 31st. So that's coming at the end of the month. And anything else that we want to
man, just looking forward to Christmas coming, having a New Year's party. You're invited, by the way.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm glad I made the list.
Yeah, you made the list. And yeah, hey, for the first time, I got to give a shout out to my girl Kara. For the first time, probably in my history of being alive, right, or ever having to deal with Christmas and everything else, presents are done, everything's wrapped. Damn, I hope my kids don't watch this, because then they're gonna be like, damn, there ain't no Santa Claus. Everything's done, right? So I get to spend this week just kind of unwinding and enjoying it, as opposed to being stressed to freak out, because that's typically been my life for as long as I can remember. It wasn't nobody's fault but my own. You know, if I didn't like the way something was being done, like, I could have just did it myself instead of, you know, complain about it. But this year has been top notch, and we kind of want to share, because like it's we all get in this funk, especially around now. If you're not doing, you know, if you're like I used to be, like, procrastinate and wait till the last minute to wrap presents on Christmas Eve and all that stuff, like, there are ways around that, right? And one of the ways, I'll give a tip and then Jeremy can give a tip, but honestly, like, the biggest thing that helped me was ask for help, right? Like, just ask for help. Instead of relying on someone else to do it, or your significant other, and then, like, being all pissed off at them about it because, like, shit's not getting done, just communicate, right? Be like, all right, this is what we got to do. There's these list of things that need to be done. When are we going to get them done by? Who's going to do what? And just hold each other accountable. That's the better way of going about it, and that's what I did this year, and it worked out great. Before, in the past, I was a miserable son of a bitch, and I was like, why isn't this done? Why isn't that done? And I was taking it out on my spouse, and it just wasn't fair to her, and really it's not fair to any of your spouses out there, especially if you're the one laying around not doing too much, right? We all know how that can happen.
Yeah.
So get your rear end up, communicate, and solve problems.
Right. So it's all about just clarifying those roles and communicating. All right, you got this, I have this, sharing that responsibility so it doesn't become overwhelming for one person. Yeah. And the one thing that I want to talk about is just taking advantage of your time. And there's a concept that I've talked about before, I think on the podcast, called net time. You guys know I'm a huge Tony Robbins fan, but net time stands for no extra time. And so like right now, we're recording this podcast, but we're also out on the walk. We finished up our workout. So we're killing two birds with one stone, right? We're getting the exercise in. Right now I'm doing the kettlebell challenge. Well, I'm not just doing the kettlebells and nothing else. I'm working. I set a timer for 2 minutes. If that 2 minutes goes off, I do a set of kettlebells. So think about ways that you can utilize the time that you're doing one activity to merge something else into that. And so then you're just able to maximize and become even more productive. So net time, take advantage of that.
That's good advice. And actually, I'll share another example. Again, give a shout out to Kara. She's a loan officer, right? She's constantly busting her rear end, closing loans. But as she's in the office closing loans, she's also doing laundry, folding laundry, gets up in between, every hour, does her, her exercises. So, I mean, Jeremy, that's a great example. I didn't even realize that's what she was doing until you just called it out. So
Tony, I mean, Robbins. And for a lot of people give Tony Robbins shit. They think he's cheesy, that he's whatever. But I mean, that dude, you want to talk about somebody living at peak level, peak performance.
Yeah, the man's got a gift, that's for sure.
And there's so much that you can learn from that dude. And literally, just go into YouTube, type in Tony Robbins, Anthony Robbins motivational video. Hundreds, thousands of options will come up. Just check one of them out. I mean, you'll pull so much out of there. I mean, you're getting value from us, but the value you're going to get from a dude like that.
Yeah. We're free. He's tens of thousands.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Hopefully we'll get there. But I mean, something else I want to point out, like, and I don't know if Jeremy's going to post this clip or not, but during this time, the littlest things can get you frustrated. And Jeremy mentioned to me the other day while we were working out, he went to Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh yeah.
Grabbed his coffee, spilled his coffee all over himself.
First world problem.
Right? All over himself, all over his spaceship that he drives around. I actually think it's him that turns into the drones. What is the deal with these damn drones?
I don't know.
I'm not gonna get any conspiracy nonsense, but I'm like over them. These drones this drone conversation has got to be done. I'm sick and tired of seeing it on social media. Anyway, that's my little rant. Spilled coffee all over himself, spilled coffee all over his Tesla Cybertruck, and sat there and thought about it for a moment. He could reacted. He could have been cussing up a storm in front of his kids.
Yeah. So I was being a little bitch, but I paused.
And you said to yourself, what? Like, walk us through like the mental process that you went through.
Yeah, but first of all, I mean, it's common during the holidays. I mean, there's so much going on. And again, with Edmund and I, we're running businesses. He's doing the real estate. I'm doing the trading. We have families. So the littlest thing, whenever you're doing all kinds of things, you're trying to manage all these things, can set you off.
Yeah.
And so
they're called triggers.
Exactly.
By the way.
So I got my kids donuts because it was after my son's wrestling match. He did a great job, by the way. And then I was going to get my coffee, and I grabbed it at the top and squeezed it, and it went all over me. So immediately I'm ready to lose my mind. I mean, it spilled everywhere, went all over the truck. But I paused and I said, you know what? You're a dumbass. You deserve that. That is some return on something stupid that you did, some action or negativity you put out in the world, and I deserve it.
That's what the universe
I did.
gave you.
And the other part is too, it's a first world problem. I'm gonna sit there and complain because, oh my gosh, I spilled Dunkin' Donuts on my, like, am I here? Like, no. Like we talked last week about David Goggins recording yourself. No. If anything, I'm reframing it to say, hey, now I get to clean my car. Something I've been needing to do. So it's a positive, it's a benefit, and that's that whole reframing moment that we need to take in perspective too. Like, this is a good opportunity to just, especially during the holidays, you don't want to lose yourself in being pissed off all the time, stressed out, frustrated, and then you're being mean to your kids, mean to your family, and before you know it, Christmas is over, New Year's is over, the kids are back in school, and you're saying, damn it, I didn't take advantage of it, I wasted a Christmas. Because here's the thing, how many Christmases do you get with your kids?
Yeah, especially when they're the magical Christmases, right? When everything's happening, and you know, they're into you know who. Those, you know, as your kids get older, there's only those couple of magical years where Christmas is, you know, amazing for them. Yeah. So to sit back and, you know, be frustrated and pissed off all the time because it's probably the most stressful time of the year, that shit ruins everybody's Christmas, right? Take the advice from me, right? It ruins everybody's Christmas. And there's still one thing that I have not mastered, and I still gotta work hard on it each and every day. It's my trigger of being inconvenienced and getting frustrated, mainly over technology. I get a temper, right? And I'm not only like become an asshole sometimes, but I get mad at myself for doing it, for allowing that trigger to take control of the next few hours of my life.
And here's the thing is, the holidays, I mean, for us, you're 44, I'm 43. They're not about us anymore.
No, definitely
They're
not.
about the kids. And our kids are similar in age, and they only get so many of these. We only get so many with them. So that cognizance, that presence of mind to remember that in those moments where we're getting frustrated over something stupid, we got to think about the impact that can have on the kids and on our family and the people we love,
and on yourself too. I mean, you know, especially if you're, you know, we talked about operating in life with a conscious mind, right? Not just reacting subconsciously. Those are the moments where you have to check yourself, and because you'll end up beating yourself up too, right? Especially if you're operating at a more conscious level, you will start to pick yourself apart and beat yourself up which only causes negativity, that negative vibe, that negative energy within yourself. Especially now, guys, we don't need to do that shit to ourselves. Ladies, we don't need to do that. Husbands, wives, right? Even any kids out there watching, right? You guys will figure it out soon. Or maybe not. It took us 44 years. You know, we got big things coming up. January's coming. You know how we all do those New Year's resolutions. Jeremy and I are going to probably do another podcast to talk about those New Year's resolutions, right? What are they for yourself? And like, what's the best way to tackle them? Because we know we all get in it 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and we're like, yeah, this shit's for the birds, right? This isn't what I expected. This is too hard. This, you know, you got to get past that 3-week cycle, and Jeremy and I will talk about that probably on the next podcast, get you guys prepared for your New Year's resolutions.
And I want to bring it home with one last actionable tip here, because like I said, we're trying to give you some things that you could do during the holidays just to help you stay grounded, focused, and productive. The last thing, and this is like old school, make a list. Write it down. Everything. Sometimes when what we have to get done, we can't organize it, and it's just all jumbled in our head. There's a sense of completion and peace and relief whenever you have it written down and you can see, all right, here's the mountain that I have in front of me that I got to take care of. So that's the last piece of advice. And a lot of you probably have lists that you do now, but if you're experiencing that right now, you're stressed out, you're like, man, I got so much to do. Well, you first have to define what that is so you know how to go about the attack on that.
Define the problem, define the goal, define the objectives. I got a whiteboard, and I get made fun of all the time because I'll be up 2, 3, 4 in the morning. That's where I do my best work. I'll be in front of the whiteboard, can't spell for shit, and I'll be up there.
True story.
Yeah, true story. I'll be up there just making a list of things that need to be done, mapping things out. What's the next week look like? What's the next month look like? What's the next real estate transaction look like? What's the next, business opportunity look like? You just got to write it down so it's there all the time when you see it, when you're in your office or wherever. Yeah, you got to keep it in your forefront. And another thing that you can do to do that is a vision board. And that's another technique. I know we talked about it before, but Jeremy's in the middle of working on his. That's something I need to put down on my list because I haven't done it yet.
Yeah. And here's the final thing that I'll say is, these things definitely apply now during the holidays because it can be a stressful time, but this is something that you can apply really to your everyday life. These are things that you could do to just be a more functional, productive human being. So, don't just do these during the holidays and that's it, forget about them. No, make them part of your arsenal and what you do so that you're a better human being, more productive, better business owner, better spouse, better husband, wife, father, mother, all those things, all of the above.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
before you go, you gotta get that shot. This is why we love it around here. I mean, this is like right out our front door, right? This is Jeremy. Like, we love Landenberg area because of just the nature of the trails, the streams, the animal life. It's just, taking moments like this, just sitting and looking like, we're just blessed, bro. Man. Like, we really are.
And we had some crazy wicked storms come through here. You could see just a lot of these trees that were just wrecked and torn down, even down further at the beginning of the episode. You can see them just laying across the water. And this is a fishing spot too that we come out to as well. But man, Mother Nature came through here like a wrecking ball this springtime, and that's why you see all these trees jacked up. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a blessing to be able to live out here in the Berg. So hey, I just want to real fast thank everybody for all the support during this kettlebell challenge. Still plugging away. Yesterday was rough, I'm not gonna lie. I got a little cold, sore throat, feeling sore, but I'm gonna get you 100. I'm gonna get you 100,000.
And you researched this, and he's yet to find anybody that has done 100,000 kettlebell swings in a 30 to 45 day time period. The
only thing that I found was a guy, military dude, tons of respect for our military. He did 100,000 in a year.
Okay.
So 365 days.
Nice.
Versus
I could do that
30 days.
I'm not doing 30 days or 60 days or 90 days.
Yeah, so there's a lot of 10,000 kettlebell swing challenge, which is typically people do it in a month. So like I said, I've been telling people I bit off a little bit more than I can chew, but hey, that's how you find things out about yourself, which is what I'm really trying to do here. So all right, brother, anything else that we want to?
Nah, man, that wraps it up.
All right.
Will we have one more before Christmas?
One more. Yeah, we're going to do, we'll do one for our goals, and we get that episode on alcohol.
Maybe I don't know, maybe we'll try to get the kids out.
Yeah.
Right, they got all fall next week. We're going to be, so remember the whole multitasking we were talking about? We're going to try to enact that, hopefully. If our wives will let us, or girlfriends, whatever, spouses, significant others, you know how it is nowadays.
Yeah, so we'll have some very special guests coming next week on the show.
And then we'll be out in nature, hopefully. Get these guys out in nature and kind of, just let these little rugrats run around and take the show for the last episode of 2024.
Hey, and let's just take a moment too, man. Hey, we're back.
We are. It feels good.
It feels good. We're back, man. It feels good to be back on the horse.
It does, man. I'm telling you, being back in the gym and working out and back in a routine is it's needed for me. I have to have it. And yeah, making that dumbass mistake, flipping the side by side, not wearing a helmet, not wearing a seatbelt. I wonder if alcohol had anything to do with it. Probably not. Yeah, right. And yeah, man, that could have been a life-changing event for me.
Yeah.
And it kind of was in a way. Just got to take the positive from it. Set me back several months. I got to start all over again. But let's do it.
2025. It's going to be our year, and we want it to be your year too. That's going to do it. Episode number 36. Courage pays better than fear. Make sure you drop us a comment. We love to hear from you. Please let us know what you thought of the episode. Any questions that you have, give us a like, share with your family and friends.
Smash that subscribe button.
And we will see you back here for another episode next week, number 37 of the Courage Pays Better Than Fear podcast.
Take care.
Have a great day. Hey guys, boy Edmund got his new girlfriend.
I missed her. Isn't she so pretty? I love this thing. Although, don't buy a 2023 Cadillac Escalade because your motor will blow up. Get rid of that shit. Get the V Series or get a 2024. That's my word of advice for today for those of you who are going to go car shopping.